Um, okay, well, I'm all ears. Anybody want to start off with anything?
Hey, what are you doing about inflation, huh? Prospect Park in Brooklyn.
Sorry. Okay, cool. All right. Anybody want to say anything? Anybody want to start with anything? Nobody?
I think I will.
Okay, yeah. Was that
Yeah.
Grace?
Yeah, it's Grace.
Okay, Grace. Hey, Grace.
Yeah, I'm good. Hi, guys. Good afternoon. Okay. Well, I actually sent an email yesterday. Well, I guess I just want everybody to be aware with it because I guess I missed to tag or CC Jackie. And yeah, well, to begin with, I definitely understand the situation or condition of the company as of this moment. And well, it really breaks my heart that I got demotivated just the last month because I felt like um, operations or Upwork staff is what you call this, are I don't know any term than being blamed of not getting enough leads or not getting enough money in. But for me though, Upwork staff is not at fault, or maybe operations and collections. At least I think that we can only do so much when it comes to getting reviews, getting collections or money. And because I know for a fact
Can
that
we let's break it down one at a time
Mhm.
so that we can get some insights from this, so that we can all, learn from this, Um, is it my internet? Someone's having internet issues? No, it's all good. Okay. So in terms of money coming in, what do you define by money coming in? Are you talking about sales or are you talking about debt collection?
debt collections.
Okay. So um with debt collections, if debt is not able to get the money, then it's the job of operations to be able to solve the problem. So solving the problem means the client's like, I'm not too happy, something happened here, I want a
Mhm.
$49 discount. There's some kind of issue going on where maybe debt may not have the understanding of what's happened on site. Operations is to take it back from the client and from the debt collection and go, okay, talk to the plumber, talk to them, talk to the client, and try to find some kind of smooth resolution, whether it's us going back, whether it's a discount, whether it's something has gone wrong, and try to solve it at least, try to be the middleman between the subby, the sales
Mhm.
plumber, debt collection, legal, the whole lot. So, yeah. So what I'm saying is, I guess, what I'm saying is, um, from what I've said, it probably sounds quite logical. And you're like, yeah, that sounds pretty good. I imagine your brains would be like, yeah, that sounds pretty good. But are you doing that? Is anybody doing that genuinely? You know what I mean? Is it more just sending a text, sending an email, putting it on chat, and hoping that something happens in the next 2-3 days? I'd say that's probably at most that we're doing. But are we really getting involved? Are we calling every single person? It's 12 o'clock. Call the subby. Hey, man, this is what's happening. Subby tells you a story. Call the sales plumber. Call this. Call, whoever's involved. Ask the chat. Get the information that you need. Call the client back. Client's like, I'm still not happy. Call the subby back again. Call the sales plumber back again. Go back to the chat. By the time it's 12:45, you've already spent 45 minutes trying to solve this issue. Like, that's what I mean by getting money in. That's one aspect of getting money in. There's lots of ways to get money in, but that's one way. Yeah. Okay, cool. And so after that, Grace, you said that getting money in. Does anybody have any comments to that? Is anybody doing that? Or does anybody say that's not possible? Or is it too hard? Or have you not been trained in it? Or what is my expectations not there? You know, is this something new that you're hearing? You know, what are your thoughts? I need you to speak, because you don't speak out of politeness or whatever it may be. I can only presume you don't know what's going on here in the company.
Come on, guys, speak.
Well, hi, Vic, good afternoon. Yep. And in regards with the process of with the debt, we're actually helping them in regards with chasing the remaining balance and call out fees. So we're just trying it once every day. If not, we'll forward to the next day.
And how do you help them?
We're calling the client. If they will not answer, we'll send a text or email to follow up with the payments.
Mm. And in terms of what I said about dispute resolution and trying to solve the problem, how are you guys doing with that?
For dispute, yeah, you're actually correct. We're actually the middleman from subbies to debt. So we need to communicate for both ends so that we can help each other and resolve it
Mhm.
until we get the resolution and have the client pay for it. If not, we will also coordinate with the complaints team if the issue is already being handled by complaints.
So I can presume, to the extent that I've said in this one scenario that I've put out, I presume that we're not doing it to the extent that I've said.
Actually, there's this instance that, or there are a lot of scenarios that we try to get in touch with the subbies as to if they were able to complete the job properly, and they will always say that they did. And then we go back to the sales plumber if they can help us, something like that, and if they can go back to reassess it, and then they just pass it back to the subbies. And then the subbies don't want to go to the property because they're firm that they did the job properly. So me personally, what I do is I ask the client to at least send us photos so that we can forward it to the subby or to the sales plumber, so that they would know if that's really indeed part of the area where we work with. And then that's it. So sometimes it's sometimes the subbies are really firm that they did the job properly, they completed everything as per scope, because that's what I always do. I always put that in the email response.
Okay, so it's all about pushing. The word push, right? You have to push yourself, your own mind. But you're gentle to the world, but you have to push your own mind. In that scenario, you may not be comfortable with it because you may not have done it in the past, but you would call the subcontractor and go, "Hey, subcontractor, this client is saying this. Even if you are right, this company, we're still in trouble right now. We've got non-payment, we've got no satisfaction, blah, blah, blah. Can you help me? Because if we are in trouble, then we can't give you future work because we can't trust that it'll be done properly. So can you solve it for me? Can we work this out together? You know, let's find a resolution." You're talking to them peer to peer, you know, eye to eye. So again, back to the concept, you've got to push your own mind. You're pushing yourself, something that you don't ordinarily do. You have to get a result. You got to push your own mind to find a solution. You may not be comfortable with what you have to do because you're not used to it, but it doesn't mean that you're being pushy with the subby. You're being polite. Hey man, we're in trouble. We're stuck. I need your help. You've done the right thing, but this is what the client's saying. What can I say back to him, or how can we resolve this together? And at that point, they might give you an idea to solve it. If that doesn't work, then we have to have the same conversation with the sales plumber. And again, it is this whole back and forth of just dispute resolution, just, again, I've probably said it numerous times. You are just dealing with, if they're 3-4-year-old kids and one kid has pushed someone's toy and they've pushed another toy over, and someone's upset about someone else taking someone else's toy, and they're 3 years old and they're screaming at each other, that's the level of understanding that humans have. You know what I mean? And that's what you have to deal with. You know what I mean? So these subbies, these people, everybody, that's the level of humanity we live in right now. You know what I mean? There's no adults in humanity. That's it. That's all we have. So that's how you have to think about people when they're in all scenarios of being a middleman. If you don't believe me, look at the world out there. That's the world we live in. We still go to war with each other. We still fight over chat threads on Facebook and TikTok. We still can't get a single thing done without a dispute. We can't walk down the street without government having police. We are all just a bunch of 3-year-olds. We're probably not even 4-year-olds. So that's how you have to approach all humans. How would you resolve it with a 3-year-old, with a couple of kids that are fighting? It's the same solution for us, you know what I mean? Or any organization. Okay. Any comments on that one?
I was just going to put some input in there as well with the subbies. When talking to subbies, I know what you mean. They, like what Victor was saying, they say that the job's complete, choose the scope of work. So basically, you really need to ask some questions after questions. Like I spoke to Jack yesterday about a job that a client is saying that it's not complete. You really need to push them to get all the information from them. And then you can go back to the client or to the sales plumber and go, look, the scope's done, the work is done. What can we do to get somebody back out there to re-look at it? Because the client's saying it's still leaking, the roof is still leaking. So you really need to push, like Victor said, push for a resolution, either push that subby to get as much information out of them and see if we can get them to come up with a plan. Like yesterday, I got Jeff to give me a quote for further work. And we're going to have to go back to the client on that one and say, look, the work is done per scope. It was water tested and ensured watertight. The leak that the client is now complaining about has got nothing to do with his work. We need somebody to go back out there and quote further. So Jeff had gone back out there and looked at it and tried to explain to the client about this. Client's still complaining. So we just got to step back, wait for a new scope of work from Jeff, and then we're going to go in with an email and explain the situation. So yeah, it's all about just pushing and getting that resolution.
Yeah, so you're pushing your own brain, your own mind, your own self. Inside, you're pushing yourself. You know what I mean? So you have a self, you have an ego, you have a self, you have a brain, you have an understanding of life, and when you're 3 years old or 2 years old, that toy that someone gave you is your toy. You're not willing to give that toy to anybody because it's yours. As you get a bit older, you're willing to give that toy away. It's your ego is changing. Your ego, your understanding of yourself is changing. So really, any hurdles that's really happening right now is yourself. So that's why I'm saying push yourself, your brain, your mind to the next, okay, what could I be doing more? What could be, what do I need to think about? What information do I need from someone else that is able to achieve this? You've got to push yourself, right? It's all about pushing yourself. But at the same time, you can be gentle with the world. I mean, you don't have to be harsh or mean or aggressive to anybody else in the outer world. You don't have to be harsh and aggressive to the subbies. Just gentle. Hey, hey Jeff, how's it going? He's like, I've definitely done it. Jeff, okay, cool. If you have done it, the problem is you're one of my best subbies. You're great. You know, everyone loves you here. Victor's a big fan of you. But this client is not being nice, and you know what clients are like. And he's like, yeah, that's what they're like. Okay, so what we're having a problem with is, sorry, I've just got to reset my recording. Give me 1 second. Okay, so if you can still hear me, so then Jeff will say something like, okay, no problem. So Jeff, can I just read out the scope of works we sent to the client? And you read it line by line. And he's like, oh yeah, I might have forgotten that part of it. And like, let me just check my photos. All right, cool, Jeff. Can I call you back in 15, 20 minutes? And he might be like, yep, no worries. Can you see it's just this never ending amount of scenarios that you just have to get to a goal, right? And you have to, there's a goal at the end, which is to solve this resolution, get the client and everybody to a good place, get the client, the company, Jeff, subby, sales plumber, everyone to a happy place. That's the outcome we have to get. You have to use your intellect, your understanding, your knowledge, everything about yourself as a human to get there. I mean, so we impart knowledge to you to get there, but end of the day, that push, your understanding, your intellect, you have to sort of get us there. You know what I mean? You're not a robot that, you know, a robot can dig a hole or pack a shelf. You know what I mean? You have to be more than that. You know what I mean? You have to be able to think and do well, you know what I mean, in everything, you know, and like, yeah, like that's what the world needs from intellectual workers, you know? Yeah, so yeah, any comments? Like, any comments? You could say something like, hey, Vic, I'm trying this, it's not working, or it's something I can try, or what about this, or anything. There must be something going through your head. Like, there's no difference in intelligence from me to anybody else here. So you guys must have a lot of information in your head that I'm not aware of right now. You know, what is going on in your thoughts?
Guys, it's like your time, it's your time to speak. So you got any issues, any criticism, anything you want to
Anything,
pull
like,
up, just bring it up.
Tell us now, like, Vic, this is where I think we're going wrong. This is what I think we can improve. This is where I think you're being unfair. I think you don't realize what's happening out there. When you're trying to get a review, this is what clients are saying. What am I not aware of? You know, what is going on out there? Is a
Maybe,
role too difficult? Do we not have the right training? What is going through? What's going on there? What's some valuable information that we can use?
yes, Vic. I would like to insert the reviews process because we're actually trying to keep calling the customer and asking for reviews or doing the survey. So since it's survey, they have an option to answer it or not. So if you keep on bugging them, most likely they're actually getting pissed off trying to call them every time we ask to answer the survey. Maybe we can just do it once, then, well, I'm not sure if that will actually work though.
Are you talking about a real life scenario right now, or are you just presuming that's what the client will say?
Well, sometimes, yeah, they are actually not all of them, but experienced ones that they stop calling them for this kind of survey.
Has it happened to you personally?
Yes, but it's a long time ago though.
Yeah.
But sometimes trying to call them, they're not answering. So just sending messages and leaving messages to their voicemail.
This is what I think. Tell me where I'm wrong, right? How would Victor do this? Victor would get every single phone number of every single client on the Excel spreadsheet. I wouldn't even care about their history, what they've done, nothing. As long as they've paid the job, I'll call them. Hey, how's it going? Blah, 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 blah. I don't care if we did the job 2.5 years ago. I'm quick enough to respond. No matter what they say to me, I'll have a response. It was so long ago. Yes, we're just trying to review. We're trying to get some reviews. Do you mind doing it for us? Blah, blah, blah. And call after call after call, I would get a response from someone, right? I can get some real information. First of all, is anybody actually doing that? Are we actually calling that many times? You've been given thousands of hours as a team to call. We could have called every client. We could have called 3,000 clients plus by now, multiple times. Has anybody pushed like the way I push to give me some real feedback of what's actually happening out there?
Since I'm the one or one of those ops that is calling for reviews, there's one time that I actually called the client 3 times a week for a review. Then Matthew, I think that's Matthew, that commented on that job, saying if I will be receiving 3 calls in a week just for a review, I might be upset, blah blah blah, or I might just leave a bad review because of multiple calls. So we were advised to do it once a week for a review.
Yeah, which is fine. So I still don't see anything about that. You know what I mean? Like, Matt is one person that has said one very slight comment. It doesn't stop us from the fact that we need to get reviews. How does that stop anything? You know what I mean? So, okay, Matt, I understand. We need to be a bit more gentle. We'll drop it down to once a week, which you've done, right? Since you have done that, what has happened? Like, why is our reviews not at 400 or 600 or 800 by now?
The thing is, the clients are not answering, and then they will gonna say that they will do this, then but they will leave a review, but they don't. Then if we'll be calling them for follow up, they're not answering.
Mm. Have we really tried to call once a week or once every 10 days? Like this, if we talk, is there 100 clients that we've called once a week or once a week or once every 10 days, at least 3 or 4 times? Have we done that? Is there some kind of real sample size that I can really look at? 1 or 2 comments by Matt, 1 or 2 upset clients is not going to give me a sample size, you know?
On my end, I can say yes, I do that. I'm getting like 60 calls in a day for just for a review, for follow ups.
And what's happening there?
Most of them are clients are not answering, and then the others are like have complaints of the job, and then the others are after hearing the or yeah, they are not they say they will leave a review, but then again they are not doing it.
So the ones that we're talking about, they'll say that we'll leave a review. Have we tried to call them back after 5 or 10 days and say, hey, can you please do a review? And then call them back another 5 or 10 days later or 15 days later if you need to give them more time. Have we done that?
Yeah, I have tried as well. Yep.
And what's happened there?
I'm just leaving message, but
Mm,
you're not answering.
not answering. I don't know then. I don't have a solution then. If it's come to that, and we need reviews, then I don't know. Is there anything we could be doing to get those reviews? Anything you can think of that we could help?
As of now, what I can say is just for follow up. That is the only way that we can get reviews
Just
from
you
them.
mean just keep calling them?
Not every day, since yeah, they are being
Like,
pissed off.
yeah, like I would say not even a
Yeah.
weekly. Let's just say
Mm.
once every 2 weeks is
Yeah.
good enough.
Yeah, that's right.
Can we add a little bit of humor to it? Can we be a little bit more funny about it? Be like, hey, how's it going? I'm really sorry to call you Johnny. I do this, right? I I pester people all the time. I mean, when I need something, real estate agents or whatever, I need a contractor over the line. If I need to sell something, I'm like, hey man, I'm really sorry to call you again. Can I talk to you right now? I really, to be honest, I just need to get this sorted. You know, that's how I talk. But you can talk in a different way, like, hey, I'm really sorry. It's local Melbourne Roof Plum again. We really my manager's on my case. He really wants this review of you. Do you mind doing it? And I'm really sorry to bug you again. You know, is that okay? You know, and you do know that we'll give you a voucher as well if you do put a review for us. You know, just anything, something. Make it funny, make it humorous, make it a bit human-like. You know what I mean? I haven't heard the calls for the review, so I don't know what it sounds like, but again, it comes to that concept of push, you know, push until we get a result.
Yeah. Victor, I do have a recommendation with regards to the review. It is because me and Russell are actually part of the team who's conducting the reviews. So I did notice that if the job has been closed for quite a long time now, sometimes the client are just going to say to us that, okay, send me the link. We'll leave the review. And then when we did check, they did not. Sometimes they are just saying that for us to stop calling them. So we did ask the operations already with regards to this. If the job has been closed right away, we did ask them to tag us so that we can go ahead and call the client right away, because those are really having a big potential of leaving a review because the experience are still fresh. They still remember how we treat them, how we resolve the issue. So they will really take an effort of leaving a review, like giving a minute or two of their time for leaving a review. However, it is not being reinforced most of the time. There are just few people that just being tagged us once the job has been closed, but there are really not being reinforced by the operations. But we did inform them already that, hey, if there would be a job that has been closed, kindly let us know, tag us, so that we can go ahead and do a quick follow up for able to them to leave a review. Because if the job has been closed for 2 weeks or probably 3 weeks, they are really not in a mood, or they will really not put an effort to leave a review anymore because the job has been done. They paid the bill. It's like they have this mindset that
While someone's here, find me a job on local Melbourne Roof Plumber from 1 year ago. Get me a phone number and I'll call them now, and I'll show you how to talk to them.
yeah, just give me one second.
Is there anybody else anybody else that's got any comments or anything else?
Hi, Victor.
Hi, Ning.
Yeah. With regards to the completed jobs, yes, we are also helping in getting the reviews, especially for the jobs that we're assigned. And sometimes during the review, our clients, just to finish the conversation, they usually said, "Yeah, I will wait for the email, and we'll post a review for that job." And then we will go ahead and send an email. And sometimes we were tagged by the operations managers to keep on monitoring this. Sometimes I think if I need to call again because per checking the rates in our page, it's not increasing, though our clients are actually promised to give us a review or a feedback with the completed jobs. So I keep on putting those job numbers to my tracker, and I also send message or PM to Ms. Russell, and also tag Armand for assistance as well. Because though they promise, I think that just to end the conversation, they just said they just wait for the emails.
Mm.
And also, just to add, we tried as well the suggestion of Miss Melvi last time. She suggested that we can send actually a text message and just input there the link, automatic link for the review, because sometimes our clients, they don't usually open their emails and they just wait for a message, but we cannot guarantee or assure that they put reviews. Yeah, it's really hard just for me to wait. So we add that to our trackers or at least to a notepad so that we will be reminded.
Unless I didn't hear you properly, isn't that the solution, just to call them 10 days later until we see the review, or 2 weeks later, or 3 weeks later until we see the review?
We don't call that client right away. So even though they promise, I don't usually call him or her after 2 days. So I wait for some weeks. Maybe it will take time for them to put reviews. For example, if they might have or they might be busy for this week, but they will keep on track for that email as well.
Mm. No, it's insane. It's like, yeah, like it's like a societal issue. Why are people not putting reviews? You know, it's an issue that we are struggling with. You know, like I think it's everywhere in all companies, but we're putting a lot of time and effort into this, and it's still not working. So Neen, if you're calling back, you know, how many customers have you called back after, 2 weeks or 3 weeks or 1 day, or sorry, 1 week? 50, 20, 30, how many have you called back and they still haven't put a review on? Or you haven't
For
done
the
it?
for the reviews, not too much, because I often check the review list, but I keep asking for assistance as well with Miss Roselle and Armand and also Miss Anne for that, because I focus as well in bookings and other follow ups, since we have assigned um, staff to also check on that.
Mm.
Most of the time, I tag them also follow up, but I try to call them, at least call for a week, for a day, for 5 or more.
Mm. 5 or more, what does that mean, sorry?
So for the reviews,
Call every 5 days or 5 times?
5 times.
You have called 5 times to a lot of them, and they still haven't put it on.
Yes, for a week, sir. For a week, sir, I try to call twice or thrice already, but sometimes or most of the time, I keep routed on voicemails.
Mm.
So just like Sir Michael, I tried to send a message, send email, and also left voicemail message.
Okay, so the new information I'm getting from this conversation is people are now just not taking our calls. They know it's us, and they just like ignore us now. So they don't want to take that call anymore. Yeah, because they're like, oh,
Yeah.
they're calling for a review, So
Most of them.
Yeah, some of them, especially if they already spoke with us and they already have an idea that the call is about us getting a review from them.
I don't have a solution. Anyway, do you have a phone number for me, Armin, to call and just talk to someone?
I'm actually still checking because the one that I do have here is still all of those voicemails. So I'm really looking for a potential client that
Give me
will
anybody.
be
Give me the
answering.
hardest
Any-
client there is. A client that we did a year and a half ago. Give me a client that doesn't answer. Give me anybody, and
Okay.
we'll just put you on voicemail. Obviously, a client we've done a good job for. If we haven't done a good job for them, then forget about it. There's no review. I mean, just don't even try. Okay, while we're thinking of questions again, I have to stop this recording because I have to. It only saves 40 minutes at a time. And I'll just restart it. Can we all join it back and I'll put a new link on, please?
Sure.
Sure.